Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tulsa, Oklahoma, also known as the oil capital of the world and the home of the Tulsa Desperados. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Ramos Ling, and joining me in the booth is 4th Ward fullback Aaron Alexander, Justin Rasad in the stats truck, and our producer is Cameron Irvine. Aaron, great to be with you. Tulsa is, well, desperate for a win tonight, 2-7. Meanwhile, Atlanta trying to keep pace with Mexico City and Florida, who won today to earn a first-round bye. How are you today, and why are you kids for this matchup?
I'm doing absolutely great today, Ramos. Great to be here in Tulsa calling this game with you. Definitely going to be interesting to see if the offense of the Desperados is going to be able to keep pace with the upbeat tempo of the Atlanta Swarm, led, of course, by Bryant Dynasty and arguably the best running back in the SFL in BDG Hollywood. And Tulsa, definitely a capable team in their own right, though they could find themselves on the outside looking in, especially if they can't come away with a win today when it comes to playoffs. Like you said, Atlanta looking to try and improve their seeding, keep pace with Mexico City and Florida, who both won earlier today. But it should be a good one. Two relatively well-matched teams, at least on a defensive front. So this could easily be a barn burner or a defensive slugfest.
Totally agree with you. Tulsa has been challenged offensively this season. Only 15.5 points per game, 2 touchdowns offensively over the last 4 weeks, and they will get the ball first as Gabriel Manning is going to return this one past the 20 and up to the 27-yard line. So as we introduce you to the Tulsa offense, is led by JQ at quarterback. Sonso Robinson and Stephen McMichaels are the backs in the backfield. Gabriel Manning, Corey Jones, and DJ Hume are your wide receivers. At tight end is number 87, Jason France, in his second year. From under center, JQ will have 3 wide receivers and 2 backs in the backfield. The handoff is going to go to Sonso Robinson, who's going to be stopped after just a gain of 1. And Tulsa trying to establish that run game on their first play.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense here. I think Sonso Robinson, another one of the veteran running backs in this league, has been relatively quiet so far this season, but definitely with his experience, definitely a threat that needs to be not taken lightly.
Absolutely. Sonso Robinson takes another handoff that goes for a pickup of just about 3 yards, as the defense for Atlanta is built by Chris Porter and Billy Ray Ballantyne as defensive ends, Leo Jefferson and Joshua Williams Swole, as they call him, number 99 defensive tackle. The Hall of Famer Quanta Shine, Garrett Hudson, and Craig Higgins are the linebackers. Napier, Rock, and Miraculous at corners. The safeties are Moose Papineau and Chris Henry to pass. JQ goes deep, and the pass is going to be intercepted. And an offense that has struggled here in Tulsa is going to turn the football back to the Atlanta Swarm. That's not the start that you want, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely not. Chris Henry with just a great read on this ball, as they say, playing center field, just reads the eyes of JQ to a T and just snags that ball out of the air. And Atlanta, after a very, very quick defensive drive, look to try and put something together here in Tulsa.
Also 2 backs in the backfield in the first play here for the Swarm. Changing the play at the line of scrimmage is Brian Dynasty. He's going to throw the pass to the far sideline. Is caught for a pickup of 5. An Atlanta Swarm offense built by Brian Dynasty, quarterback number 3, third season in the league. BDG Hollywood, the Hall of Famer, and Mitchell O'Brien are in the backfield. Siege Falco, Boo Chisholm, and Ryan Roosevelt are the wide receivers. At tight end is the ever-so-dangerous Jamal Wooding. From under center here, Brian Dynasty has 2 tight ends and a back in the backfield. That's BDG Hollywood. He is going to throw again on second down, and the pass is going to be nearly intercepted as a couple of Tulsa players had a chance at it.
Yeah, it was Carson Miller and Nate Heslip with the potential to try and intercept that ball. Pass intended for the backup tight end, Show Nuff, number 84.
Shotgun formation here for Dynasty with 4 wide receivers and a tight end on the field. Dime defense for the Desperados. Dynasty will throw. The pass is a slant. It's caught by Jamal Wooding, who has a lot of room to run. Gets to the 34-yard line of Tulsa side of the field. And the Desperados rocking this Oklahoma State kind of alternates here. I like how they look. Their defense is built by Chris Andrews and Berto de Mora as defensive ends. Jaden Swift, the defensive tackle. Miles Gibson, Carson Miller, and Philadelphia Collins at linebacker. Haslip, Valier, and Shaw are your corners. Reside, Wright, and Thornton at safeties. To throw again, the pass is going to be caught on the far sideline for a pickup of 4 yards.
Yeah, the rookie Ryan Roosevelt there getting catch number 2 on the day. Just another nice little out route there from him. Picks up 4. Going to bring him up to 9 on the day. Shout out to Justin Reside, who's also working in the stat truck for us today.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be another one of those 2 tight end formations here. It's an offset back and BTG Hollywood in the backfield. 4-3 defense for the Desperados. A short pass that goes to Boo Chisholm, and he's going to get a few and setting up a 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, very, I don't want to say easy, because nothing is easy in the SFL, but definitely a
safe throw, you can say.
Yeah, definitely a safe situation here on 3rd down.
Absolutely. Same formation here. This pass now goes to BDG Hollywood, who has a lot of room. BDG Hollywood all the way to the 13-yard line. If there's a guy you cannot leave wide open in the backfield, it's number 34.
Yeah, absolutely not. There's a reason that he's arguably one of, if not the best halfback here in the SFL, proving it there with a nice wheel route in order to get that 1st down. Gonna chalk that one up to 14 yards, I believe, for the halfback on that play.
Another 1st down here for the Swarm, as they've had a pretty impressive drive. This is going to be a power formation, a full house set, with a tight end and a fullback in the backfield. BDG Hollywood dots the I. It's going to be a handoff to BDG Hollywood up the middle, and he's got 4 yards on the play. Haslip making the stop. And, this is, again, an Atlanta team that is playing with a purpose. They're 6-3. They really want that 1st round bye. They see that the Aztecs and the Storm got wins today. Obviously, Baltimore also won. And they want to keep pace.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Atlanta team definitely capable of doing so, despite some struggles in the early season. But they're definitely in a position to at least threaten for the top 4 seed going into playoffs.
That was a stretch play attempted with BDG Hollywood. Berto de Mora sailing the edge very, very nicely indeed. This one is going to be again under center, 2 backs in the backfield, 2 wide receivers, and Wooding is on the near sideline. Tight to the line. Dynasty to throw, and he's not going to throw. Sack on the play, and a big stop here by the Tulsa Desperados defense. That's number 91, Jaden Swift, that defensive tackle, 4th-year man, all with Tulsa.
Yeah, Jaden Swift, the number 2 man as far as sacks this season for the Desperados, comes up big on 3rd down here. And Atlanta, despite a really, really impressive opening drive, is going to have to settle for a field goal from the boot of Sammy Steele.
And the kick is up and good. 3 points here for the Swarm, as they are the first team scoring today. During the season, Aaron, we saw Jaden Swift. That was his 6th and a half sack of the season. Chris Andrews leads the team, and it's actually number 2 with 10 sacks so far this year. So that's something that has really worked for the Tulsa defense. It's been putting pressure on the quarterback. He also has 16 tackles for loss. Andrew has. As Gabriel Manning is going to return this one past the 25 and up to the 30-yard line. Very, very dangerous once he breaks that first tackle, because if you don't have more men immediately, he can just take that for 6.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, this Tulsa front three has been able to get a lot of pressure through to these opposing quarterbacks. Unfortunately, the offense just hasn't really been able to put it together. A part of that coming from the fact that JQ sits second last in the league as far as total sacks go.
Shotgun formation for Q. He's going to throw, has time. The pass is going to go to the far sideline, and it's incomplete. A great play by Miraculous, knocking that one away. And I think that for Tulsa to be able to keep pace, I think they're going to have to throw the ball here, Aaron. I mean, when you look at the Atlanta Swarm defense, they are number 1 in rushing touchdowns allowed, only 4 the entire year. They only allow 67 rushing yards. So, you're not going to run the ball very well against this defense, as they will go again on a 3 wide receiver set, 2 backs in the backfield. Under center, JQ will hand the ball off to Robinson, who has a lot of, well, not a lot of room, just a small hole there for a pickup of 3.
Yeah, but one thing that Tulsa needs to be careful about with this this passing defense of the Swarm is that their entire secondary is capable of picking the ball off. Of course, you have the 3 J's at corner in Napier, Rock, and Miraculous, but Moose Papno and Chris Henry are more than capable of snatching the ball out of the air themselves, as we saw earlier on that Chris Henry interception.
That pass was a quick out route for Gabriel Manning. He's unable to turn the corner and get a first down. It's going to be 2 yards shy, and that's 2 drives and 2 unsuccessful ones for the Desperados offense, as they will have to punt. 4th and 2 in this one. And, Tulsa cannot afford too many of those. Again, this is a very challenged offense throughout the season. Again, last couple of weeks, no offensive touchdowns, as the kick goes and is fielded by the Swarm up to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, you definitely have the right of it. Their last offensive touchdown, specifically their last touchdown pass, over a month ago in that overtime win against Carolina, which is also when Sanzo last scored a TD for this Tulsa offense. So struggles, especially here early on in this game, as Atlanta looks to get going again.
Yeah, BDG Hollywood with that catch again. It's another grab by the Hall of Fame running back to set up a 2nd and 5. If you're new to this SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Handoff again goes to Mitchell O'Brien this time, who has a lot of room. The Tulsa Desperados not expecting that run to the fullback, as he's got a first down.
Yeah, Mitchell O'Brien, not typically used very often as a rusher, but when he does, is definitely capable of pulling out some big rushes.
Yeah, that was only the 22nd carry of the season for Mitchell O'Brien, now with about 60 yards rushing, no scores, but a good change of pace there by the Swarm, as Dynasty is going to swing it out again, and BDG Hollywood has nothing but great grass in front of him. Another first down for the Swarm as they get into Tulsa territory.
Yeah, Tulsa has doesn't really have an answer, it seems, for these wheel routes that Atlanta keeps sending BDG Hollywood on. That one, of course, going for the first down, as we saw. And Atlanta going to look to continue their offensive attack here.
Offsides free play on this one. BDG has nothing on the play, but that penalty is going to be accepted, as we're going to take a look for the first time to R62 here. It's going to be an accepted penalty, 5 free yards.
Neutral zone infraction, number 96, defense, 12-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
And I'm liking what Atlanta's doing. This is exactly how you neutralize a good pass rush. Chris Andrews with 10 sacks, but if you're getting rid of the ball in just 1.5 seconds, he can just, he cannot get to your quarterback.
Yeah, you've absolutely got the right of it there. That one called on Berto Demora for the offside. It's going to be a free first down here for the Swarm.
And Dynasty has his open man. That's Boo Chisholm on the catch. Inside the red zone as number 80 makes the secondary pay. As we're going to take a look at the replay.
Yeah, just a great ball from Bryant Dynasty despite the oncoming pressure from Chris Andrews, is able to get that nicely into the hands of Boo Chisholm, who's over 1,000 on the season. Dynasty now has eclipsed over 10,000 passing yards for his career with that pass.
Congratulations to Brian Dynasty as he goes with BDG Hollywood this time. A pickup of only 2 yards on the play. And, Tulsa has done a pretty decent job stopping BDG in the run game. It's been the passing game that has hurt him more.
Yeah, but that just shows what Atlanta was capable of. Tulsa came into this game probably expecting a lot more volume out of the star halfback, the Hall of Fame halfback in BDG. But
completion with Siege Falco, excuse me, Aaron, but he's got a touchdown in the paint. And Atlanta is just moving the ball at will in this first quarter.
Yeah, I was just about to say this receiving core of Atlanta is always a threat, especially in the hands of BDG Hollywood. As you can hear the calls ring out in the stadium as Siege Falco picks up 7 for the Swarm here with 2.5-ish left to go here in the first.
And just a beautiful throw right there by Dynasty. He recognizes his bit more of a deep coverage by the corner. He goes underneath with one of his favorite guys. The extra point is up and good for the Atlanta Swarm as they are leading 10-0.
Yeah, and it was just a great route there by Falco as well in order to get himself open underneath despite the deep coverage from the Desperados. And you definitely have the right of it, Falco. One of the favorite targets here for Bryant Dynasty. Currently second on the team this season in total receptions.
Yeah, and now ties Boo Chisholm with 7 touchdowns this year as Gabriel Manning has another shot at it. He's going to bring it back to the 24-yard line. And what do you think, Aaron, that Tulsa has to do? I mean, the run game has not worked particularly well. Do you put the ball in JQ's hands to throw the football?
I mean, that's certainly an option, but I think if you have to put it into the hands of JQ, you want to look toward a more short to mid-range sort of pass game, a more possession-style pass game for the Desperados.
Shotgun formation looked like a pass here, and it is a throw. The pass is going to go middle of the field, and it's almost intercepted again, trying to go with Corey Jones. And the Atlanta Swarm defense having none of it as linebackers and safeties converge to make the stop, second down.
Yeah, and that's why it's dangerous to go to a more medium to long type of game plan against the Swarm, because as I mentioned earlier, this entire secondary is more than capable of snatching balls out of the air.
JQ again, same formation in the shotgun here. Is going to throw again, and the pass this time is going to be caught. That's Gabriel Manning with a pickup of 7 yards, making it a shorter 3rd and 3 situation. JQ this season has had his struggles. 9 touchdowns, 26 interceptions now with the one he suffered just a few minutes ago. But he's 6th in the SFL in the pass attempts with 380 coming into this game, so they trust him for sure. The pass again goes to the near sideline, is going to be caught, but short of the first down marker, and they will have to bring the punt unit once more.
Yeah, that's the fullback Stephen McMichaels on just a little flat route there out of the backfield. Unfortunately, the pass a little too far ahead of him, so he's not able to turn that upfield for the first down. And for the second straight drive, the Desperados forced to punt this one away.
4th and 1 at the 33. The punt is going to go away. Gonna be fielded around the 30-yard line and tackled at the 33. So another offensive drive here for the Atlanta Swarm upcoming, and it's been that short passing game, Aaron, that has really damaged the Tulsa Desperados. It's not been that big explosive play with Butch Chisholm for 50 yards. It's just been the dink and dunk.
Yeah, it's typically been wheel routes out of the backfield to BDG Hollywood, a couple of short medium routes to Boo Chisholm and Siege Falco.
That was a free play, and he got hit. That was Brian Dynasty getting hit. Andrews providing the pressure, but it's going to be another free play. That's the second time tonight we've seen Tulsa jumping off sides. Is this going to go off 1st and 5?
Yeah, that one against Berto Demora yet again. So the seasoned defensive end getting called for the second time this quarter, falling for the hard count of the Atlanta Swarm. And Atlanta's going to find themselves with another 1st and 5 situation here with just under a minute and a half left in the first.
8 men in the box here for Tulsa. They're expecting the run to BDG Hollywood. The run goes to Hollywood, and he's got a lot of room. It doesn't matter. 13 yards on the play. Exceptional blocking by the Atlanta Swarm.
Yeah, Atlanta Swarm in that strong power eye. 3 men in the backfield. This offensive line just able to open up a giant hole here for BDG Hollywood. And Hollywood proving the valuable asset that we know that he is to this Atlanta Swarm team.
Over 100 yards of total offense here for the Swarm already here in this first quarter. Then another throw with BDG, and guess what? He's got a lot of room again. It's a 9-yard pickup here for BDG Hollywood, making it a 2nd and 1 and close to field goal range.
Yeah, if it's not a handoff, it's a wheel pass out to BDG Hollywood in open space. Hollywood for
under center. Sorry about that. Under center, the handoff is a stretch play for a 1st down. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's my bad. Bit of lag there on my part. I apologize for that. Was going to say a BDG Hollywood by himself, unfortunately, has more yards than Tulsa has managed so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, and it's been Brian Dynasty's effective passing game. 9 of 10 so far with a touchdown. It's going to be another throw. BDG Hollywood open again. BDG Hollywood has 9 more yards. They're going to rule it a 2nd and inches at the 22-yard line. And that's going to be the last play of a first quarter that has been completely dominated by the Swarm. And nothing. The Atlanta Swarm lead the Tulsa Desperados. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? I'm Doug. What's up, everyone? I'm Doug. Oh my God.
I'm Doug Brown, running back, Mud Dogs. That's Potty, Kicker, Dragons. That's Benny Butcher, DT, Dragons. We the Simpot, the late night SFL podcast. Check us out on YouTube and Twitter.
here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Atlanta Swarm knocking on their door once again. 2nd and inches here for the Atlanta Swarm. It's a power set. They've gone with BDG Hollywood over the last couple times they've gone in this set. They're going to go with O'Brien this time, and it's the 2nd carry for Mitchell O'Brien. The fullback has a first down.
Yeah, Mitchell O'Brien getting a bit of an additional workload here on 2nd and inches and pushes the Swarm into the Tulsa red zone here to start the 2nd quarter.
Quickly getting back to the line of scrimmage is Atlanta. And it's going to be a stretch play here for BDG, and he's going to go nowhere. That's a great job by Philadelphia Collins at outside linebacker here for the Desperados. Rookie player, 6'3", 240, 2nd round pick.
Yeah, Philadelphia Collins, despite being a rookie currently this season, has been a contributor to this Desperado defense with now 64 tackles going his way.
3 wide receiver set is going to be a throw, and Dynasty almost gives it away. As a great job by the defense on that one is Carson Miller, the 3rd-year man coming from the San Diego Mavericks.
Yeah, Carson Miller probably beating himself a little bit over the fact that he didn't intercept that ball despite it hitting him square in the chest. Is going to bring up a long 3rd down situation here for Atlanta.
4 wide receiver set. 1 tight end in the backfield here for the Swarm. Dynasty has time to throw, runs out of time. The pass middle of the field is caught, and that is Brian Dynasty's best play of the day.
Yeah, that one into the hands of his most, goodness gracious, what is the word that I'm looking for? His safest, let's go with that. His safest receiving option into the hands of Boo Chisholm.
Yeah, his most trusted guy, his #1 guy, the Hall of Famer. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 3, and look for BDG Hollywood on the far sideline with a pass. There's nobody covering him again, it looks like. Brian Dynasty goes under center. He's going to throw it to BDG. Nobody there. Touchdown Swarm.
Yeah, you've absolutely got the right of it. Just a nice little flat route out of the backfield. And it's just an easy floater into the hands of BDG. And as DR Sim would say, he just crossed Hollywood Boulevard.
That he did with ease on that one as the Atlanta Swarm add to their lead. Is going to be 17-0 pending the kick here on special teams. That's Sammy Steele, 3rd-year man. So the snap is good. Hold is good as well. And the kick is up and through. 17-0 Atlanta Swarm. So, you know, you're at home here, Aaron, you know, being Tulsa. Obviously, the crowd has to be on your side. Maybe they're a little bit upset that the team is losing 17-0, but, you know, crowd noise is not going to be an issue here on offense. That has to work at your favor, but I think what they have to do is to string first downs here. You more than getting that deep shot for a touchdown, they need to get some first downs.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct in that assessment. I think their game plan needs to be, you know, short and medium range passes into the hands of Corey Jones, DJ Hume, and Gabriel Manning. Get the tight end Jason France involved in that as well, of course. You've got Sanzo Robinson and Stephen Michaels you can pass to out of the backfield. So they've got plenty of options. They just need to actually, you know, utilize them in a way that they can string those first downs together.
Totally agree. That's going to be the fullback with the carry. That's Stephen McMichaels, who's going to pick up 4 yards. A play out of the Atlanta playbook, it looks like, as Mitchell O'Brien also has been active in today's game. Are you a Next Level SFL fan? Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player and to join our community. Check out League Leaders. We've got stats from all 7 seasons of SFL action and track game season and career numbers of all the players over time who've gone from couch to field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong, as the pass is going to be tipped and is going to be almost intercepted as Quantus Shine almost did an alley-oop to himself and then to his teammate, Henry, and is incomplete at the end of the day.
Yeah, the Hall of Famer starting a very active tip drill there, almost gets it himself, tries to get it into the hands of Chris Henry. Unfortunately, Henry not prepared for it, and that's going to drop incomplete, but is going to bring up third down for the Desperados.
Press man-to-man coverage showing here for the Atlanta Swarm. 3 wide receivers for the Desperados. They're going to throw the pass over the middle of the field, and that's a great route and a great catch here by Corey Jones, getting a first down for the Desperados. Much, much, much needed.
Yeah, just a great route by Corey Jones. A little slant route up the middle, cuts through the coverage of the Atlanta Swarm there, as I believe Rock was on him in man coverage. And Tulsa finds himself finally with a first down.
Desperados have not crossed the 50-yard line yet on offense. They're looking forward to do so for the first time as a heavy set. Gonna be a handoff to the left side. That's Sansa Robinson with a little bit of room, but a great open field tackle by the Swarm defense. Only a pickup of 2 yards.
Yeah, that was Moose Papineau, the free safety on that tackle there. Tulsa only gets 2 on that run from Sansa Robinson, but it's enough to get them across half field for the first time this game.
8 players, more like 9 players in the box here for the Swarm. They're going to throw the ball to the far sideline. The pass is caught with Gabriel Manning. He's got about 4 yards on the play. A nice play call right there. Is a ton of players in the box. Go short with Gabriel Manning for a few yards. Going to be a manageable third down.
Yeah, and I think that needs to be the modus operandi for the Desperados, is to just keep going with these, I'm going to keep saying this, these short to medium range passes, because that's what seems to work for this Desperado offense with the personnel they have.
The pass is going to be caught. That's a great read by the quarterback, Jason France, with his first catch of the day. Gets a first down here for Tulsa, and JQ finally getting on a rhythm.
Yeah, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from this drive from Tulsa. They're going with this short to mid-range pass game. They're getting Jason France involved. And it shows as this is the best drive they strung together so far.
That's a slant pass caught by the wide receiver, DJ Hume. Getting the ball to the 31 is going to be ruled short of the first down marker. 2nd and 1 coming up, but Tulsa now in scoring position and looking better.
Yeah, that 9-yard catch, though, by DJ Hume puts him across 1K for his career, so congrats out to the third-year man.
Sansa Robinson stretching out to the outside. Great patience by the running back. Gets a first down all the way to the 21-yard line. And that was great blocking up front by the Desperados.
Yeah, definitely a chance for that to get stopped in the backfield, but great vision, great awareness by Sansa Robinson. Finds a small hole and is able to make himself skinny enough to squeeze through it and extend that play further than it should have gone.
Absolutely. It's going to be another similar formation here as 4-3 defense from Atlanta shifts. It's going to be another handoff. Robinson cuts it inside. Robinson has got 7 yards on the play, and those outside runs with a guard pulling are working pretty well here in the last couple of plays.
Yeah, absolutely. The on some of these, though, that tackle that they're running to is just able to get such a good push off the line that Sansa Robinson is just able to turn it inside that hole.
Shotgun formation here for JQ. With Robinson in the backfield, he's going to throw. The pass is going to be incomplete. It was a pretty good read by JQ, I think, but Corey Jones heard the footsteps.
Yeah, and I think JQ just a little impatient to get that ball into the hands of Corey Jones as he threw a little too much heat on it there. But third down in the Atlanta red zone with a potential fresh set of downs if needed.
Going to be a similar formation here. It's going to be another throw by Q. It's got Robinson. Can he get? Yes, he can get to the first down marker. Puts a man on the dirt. 1st and goal, Desperados.
Yeah, Jack Napier, the one getting absolutely trucked there by Sanzo Robinson, but Tulsa gets the fresh set of downs that they need inside of the Atlanta 10, looking to try and just get anything on the board here after giving up 17 currently unanswered.
Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers here for the Desperados. Look for Gabriel Manning on this one. The pass is going to go to number 18, Gabriel Manning, as he's trying to get to the end zone. Will not get there. It's a gain of 5, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, absolute divination type call from Ramos there into the hands of Gabriel Manning as he predicted. And there's a reason Manning is the go-to for JQ.
Q to throw, has time, passes in a lot of traffic. Trying to go with Jason Francis, incomplete, as a couple of Swarm players were right there at the goal line to knock it away.
Yeah, chalk that PD up to Chris Henry, who already has an interception on the day, is going to bring up 3rd down for the Desperados. They're only 3 yards out, though, so we could see some trickery up the middle with Stephen McMichaels.
Goal line defense here for the Swarm. 2 wide receivers for the Desperados. Under center, JQ will throw. Q back in the end zone is going to be ruled an incompletion on this when Stephen McMichaels. Oh man, I would like to see a replay on that one. That's close.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. I did say trickery up the middle with Stephen McMichaels. That's exactly what they tried. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Tulsa's going to challenge this one, and they're just going to accept the 3 here.
Yeah, that's shocking, actually. You know, even if it's close and likely going to be incomplete, you at least have to try it, as the kick is going to be up and good. So at least Tulsa is able to put some points on the board. 17-3. Atlanta still leads. The SFL 17th postseason gets underway on Next Level Sports and for the fans Saturday, October 16 and Sunday, October 17 with wildcard round matchups. For the newest SFL participants, the SFL Minor League, or the SFLM, kicks off its 4th season Friday, October the 15th. The SFL's YouTube channel is home to all the minor league action at youtube.com/simulationfl. To get on the field and to the action, visit simulationfl.net to create a player today, as the return is brought to the 24-yard line, and Atlanta will have 4 minutes to try to put more points on the board, Aaron.
Yeah, Atlanta definitely capable of scoring within 4 minutes here. Currently, as it stands, if need be, they do have all their timeouts. They do have the 2-minute warning. But Atlanta may look to try something up-tempo here to try and score quickly.
2 backs in the backfield here for the Swarm. They're going to throw Dynasty deep drop back. The pass is going to go to the far sideline. It's caught. BDG, Boo Chisholm, again, made a mistake, is going to have a 1st down up to the 44-yard line. And man, when you have that number 1 wide receiver, Boo Chisholm, able to run the entire route tree, is just a huge asset for your offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And as predicted, Atlanta tries something up-tempo on this first play of the drive here. And so Bryant Dynasty finds the hands of Boo Chisholm, who's currently perfect. 4 targets, 4 receptions for 42 yards.
1st down and 10 yards to go here. It's going to be 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends in the backfield. It's going to be another throw to Boo Chisholm. He's got a 1st down all the way to the 45-yard line, and Atlanta moves the chains again.
Yeah, and Boo Chisholm is the type of receiver that regardless of what route you send him on, he's going to find some kind of way to be open. And Boo Chisholm, of course, proving his worth there. 2 passes, both going for more than 10 yards. Atlanta finds himself in Desperado territory.
No backs in the backfield. It's an empty set here for Bryant Dynasty. He's going to throw. The pass is going to go middle. It's caught. Brian Wooding puts him in on the dirt, all the way to the 16-yard line and into the SFL red zone. Atlanta looking dangerous today.
Yeah, as you said, Jamal Wooding putting a man into the dirt. That was Cameron Shaw, and dragging Julian Valaire another 5 or 10 yards before Carson Miller, I believe, comes up and helps bring down the big tight end.
I formation for the Swarm. BDG dots the I. It's going to be a handoff to BDG as he's going to be met at the line. No gain on the play.
Yeah, Chris Andrews and Philadelphia Collins ensuring that run goes nowhere for BDG Hollywood. But Atlanta sitting comfortably in the Tulsa red zone now. Still capable of making magic happen.
The throw, Dynasty goes again with BDG Hollywood in the open field. And a good open field tackle made by the corner on that one. It's going to be 3rd and short here for the Swarm as we reach the 2-minute warning. Atlanta 17-3, trying to score again before the end of the first half. And, defensively, Tulsa has not been able to make stops consistently here in the red zone. They've allowed a couple of touchdowns. They have to do a better job at covering those flats.
Yeah, absolutely have to agree with you here. Not just the flats, but these wheel routes too, out to the likes of both BDG Hollywood and Mitchell O'Brien.
Speaking about the fullback, O'Brien tries to run over a man and get in the end zone, but is stopped at the 4-yard line. Is quietly being very, very important to this offense today, not only in the ground game, but also, blocking and just being another weapon for Brian Dynasty and company. Another heavy set for Atlanta. It's a full house formation. The handoff goes to BDG, reads his blocks into the end zone for yet another touchdown. Atlanta Swarm.
Yeah, BDG Hollywood already had one through the air on a flat. This one, he gets on the ground, and BDG Hollywood proving why he is arguably the star back here in the SFL, extending his yardage and touchdown lead even further.
Right, and when you look at his all-time stats, it's just crazy. I mean, BDG coming into this game with 2,565 carries, close to 13,000 yards, 116 touchdowns coming into the game again. All of those ranked number 1 all-time in the SFL. And when you have a guy like that, it's just a nightmare to match up against, to be honest.
Yeah, and with the way BDG has been playing against this Tulsa defense, there's a very real possibility that we could see BDG Hollywood cross over that 13K yard mark on the ground.
The return goes from Gabriel Manning past the 20-yard line up to the 23, and still with 1 minute and 25 seconds left, Tulsa can try to get into scoring position. I mean, still 3 timeouts. Previous drive was pretty good with a lot of short throws. You don't have a lot of time, but you have to think you can at least get to field goal range and try to put points before the end of the half.
Yeah, but you have to do it in such a way. You want to keep it low risk here. You've already thrown 1 interception if you're JQ this game, so you definitely want to try and mitigate as much of that pick risk as possible.
And that's going to be a short catch to Jason Franz, but a penalty is on the play. Let's see if that's in the area of holding on the offense.
Yeah, that's what I think we're going to see here.
That's indeed the offensive lineman there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guard Jeffrey Casillas, the one called for the hold there.
And that completely just changes the landscape of this. Like, it's 1st and 20. You have to think, being the Atlanta Swarm, if you get a stop here on 1st down, let's say the run, if you get a stop, you can call a timeout and try to possibly get the ball back yourself and try to put some points on the board with some good field position. There's going to be a heavy set. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's going to force the Desperados to try something more high risk, I think.
Mm-hmm. And that's a pass completion to Stephen McMichaels, who gets out of bounds. And in this kind of situation, you're probably helping Atlanta here because, 2nd and 15, clock stops, you save Atlanta a timeout unless you get a first down. This is a tricky situation. Shotgun formation, 5 wide receivers here for JQ. He's going to throw. The pass is going to be underneath, caught for a pickup of 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 10, and neither team electing to call a timeout. I mean, if you're Atlanta, you don't want to call a timeout and have Tulsa throw a 80-yard bomb over your head or something, so I understand it from that perspective.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you here. DJ Hume, the target of that last reception, does get Tulsa back to the original line of scrimmage at least.
Another pass by Q is going to be caught, and trying to reverse field is Hume. He doesn't get it, and that is Atlanta calling the timeout. So they will have 2 timeouts with the offense on the field and potentially some good field position with still about 35 seconds left. I think that's a great defensive series and great coaching by the Swarm.
Yeah, the Swarm are definitely more than capable of scoring within 30 seconds, as Ismailia Farouk gonna be the one to punt this one away.
Ryan Roosevelt back deep to return. He gets the ball, and is a nice return all the way to the 48-yard line, so close to midfield is going to be Atlanta. This is a controlled environment. We are in a dome, so you have to think that probably just 20 yards puts you in field goal range.
Yeah, absolutely. That punt, by the way, it literally inches from being blocked by the Swarm, and definitely, if that had happened, scoop and score potential for the Swarm, but the punter able to get it away.
Heavy set, full house formation. The pass is going to go to BDG Hollywood, who's got room and a blocker. BDG spin moves. BDG has a first down, gets out of bounds, so stops the clock. Very smart play by the veteran running back, getting very close from field goal range.
Yeah, and just some great blocking by the offensive line on that screen pass. As you see the chop block there, BDG gets a spin move to get around one, breaks through another, and has the wherewithal to get out of bounds in order to stop the clock. Of note, Atlanta does get the ball back at the half.
And they do. 3 wide receiver set here for the Swarm. It's going to be a pass. Dynasty will throw the ball deep, and the pass is caught. Behind the defense is Siege Falco for his 2nd touchdown of the game. And Atlanta just finds another way to be successful in this first half.
And the bird calls ring out from the Atlanta fans yet again. Just a great route by Siege Falco. Maybe a bit of blown coverage, perhaps, by this Desperado defense. But just a lovely, lovely sequence from Siege Falco, and a great pass from Bryant Dynasty into the hands of Siege Falco there. And Atlanta is going to take an even bigger lead going into the half here.
Just unbelievable here for Atlanta. Great coaching. I mean, once you get that holding on Tulsa, it's 1st and 20. You just have to cover the sticks. They do it exceptionally well. Call a timeout and give this powerful offense the chance to put more points on the board. You know, Aaron, sometimes coaches just play it safe. They say, you know what, we have a 20-point lead, just take it to the half. But Atlanta just making a statement today.
Yeah, and that drive, took 10 seconds total, I think. If that. I'm sure Justin Reside, our statistician, will be able to give me a more definite number on that, but it was flash-like in quickness, let's say.
It was 2 plays, 51 yards. It was first a 17-yard pickup with BDG Hollywood. He was able to get out of bounds, save that timeout, and Atlanta say, why not? Let's take a deep shot at the end zone, and it worked beautifully for them. As JQ is going to go in the shotgun, it's going to change the play. If I'm them, just throw it short to Gabriel Manning, see if you can get something, and take it to the half. So that's Gabriel Manning indeed for a pickup of 7, gets out of bounds, so we'll see a couple more plays.
Yeah, good call there, Ramos, with the call to go to Gabriel Manning, who's far and away the preferred target of JQ. But I think if Tulsa stands a chance, they need to get not just him, but Corey Jones and DJ Hume going in this pass game.
Heavy set here is going to be another handoff to Sansa Robinson, and he's double team tackle for a pickup of only 1, and that's going to be it for the first half. A first half that Atlanta has had in control all the way out. They will get the ball to start the second half. And Aaron, what are your thoughts? I mean, Atlanta playing pretty much a perfect game, and Tulsa needs to, talk at the half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bryant Dynasty currently sits 18 of 20 in the pass game. BDG Hollywood by himself has, I hate to say this, but it's true, has more yards than the entirety of Tulsa's offense so far this game. Really, Atlanta is just able to execute pretty much whatever they want against this Tulsa defense, and Tulsa is just not able to keep up with them.
You see one of Siege Falco's touchdowns of the first half. Brian Dynasty, I mean, he's been great. As you said, 18 of 20, close to 200 yards passing, more than 200 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. That's somehow not a perfect quarterback rating. I don't understand.
It's because of the 2 incompletions.
Yeah, but at the same time, that kind of looks like a 158.3 to me. It's very close from being perfect.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you on that. Like I said, Atlanta's just been able to do whatever they want against this Desperado defense.
Yeah, and to add insult to injury, Atlanta will get the ball first to start the second half. So you take a look at deep shot by Brian Dynasty to Siege Falco, wide open for a score. Falco with 51 yards and 2 scores. His 2 catches have been for touchdowns, so...
Yep.
He's been the guy that, Tulsa has slept on a couple plays, and next thing you know, 7 points on the board a couple times. As JT Delaney is going to kick us off for this second half. Roosevelt is back deep to return this one. He's going to bring it out of the end zone, past the 20-yard line, and all the way to the 21. A good coverage play by the Tulsa Desperados.
Yeah, the man I'm going to refer to as Doubled Doubles, because of his name and number combo, not really able to get much beyond just a touchback there. But still a good effort by the rookie receiver on that return.
Offset I formation. Mitchell O'Brien behind the right guard is going to go behind O'Brien. BDG has a spin move and nothing doing there. It's a pickup of probably half a yard, if so. Thornton on the tackle.
Yeah, Tulsa just prepared for the run on that first down. Unfortunately, isn't able to stop BDG in the backfield like they might have wanted. But if you're Tulsa, you'll take a gain of 0.
This looks like man-to-man coverage, and Brian Dynasty has feasted on this, going to BDG Hollywood more times than not. He goes again to BDG, who's had a lot of room. Makes a spin move. BDG Hollywood past the 45-yard line all the way to the 46. So difficult to stop him one-on-one because he can make a player miss like it's nothing. 1st and 10.
Yeah, BDG Hollywood making the rookie free safety Daniel Wright look absolutely silly here with that spin move. Just caught him completely off guard. It takes Philadelphia Collins coming over from the opposite side of the field in order to stop BDG Hollywood from doing any more damage.
Looks like a 4-4 defense here for the Desperados. Another swing goes to BDG Hollywood as he tries to make a spin move, not successful that time. It's a pickup of 7 yards, though, to make it a 2nd and short.
Yeah, Carson Miller not falling for the spin move that time as he shoulder checks BDG Hollywood after that 7-yard pickup.
Best receiver of this game, is, at least as far as yards is concerned, one BDG Hollywood, close to 100 yards already in the game, as he's going to take a carry, breaks another tackle, gets to the 40-yard line, and moves the chains.
Yeah, and Atlanta doing what arguably Atlanta does best, running this offense through BDG Hollywood. Almost 100 yards receiving, like you said, currently sits at 50 on the ground.
Going to be another stretch play by BDG, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage that time by the defense. A good job not allowing BDG to get to the sideline. It's going to be second and long.
Yeah, the backup defensive end, Oren Romo, on the tackle there, manages to get around the block by the offensive lineman on the stretch play in order to stop that in the backfield.
Last time the Tulsa Desperados beat this Atlanta team back in 2018, 3 years ago, as this is going to be a sack way behind the line of scrimmage, as finally the pressure gets to to Brian Dynasty.
Yeah, and that's Carson Miller yet again getting just his second sack on the season, but it is a big one, forcing an incredibly long third down situation here for the Swarm.
Dynasty to pass. The pass is going to be caught middle of the field, and it's going to be a pickup of about 12 or so on the play, and this is a pretty decent play as Roosevelt is not getting up. He is, but that was he stood up very slowly. Was scary, and Atlanta's actually going to select to punt this one, which is pretty surprising. There will be about a 52-yard field goal from here in a dome. Atlanta choosing to punt.
Yeah, I think the Swarm just not wanting to take the risk of giving the Desperados the field position advantage there on the 35, and it's a great punt there from Chris Smith as number 37, that's the rookie Jay Rock on special teams, forces Tulsa start this drive at their own 5.
Even more things going right here for the Swarm as they will put Tulsa inside their 5-yard line, making them drive the length of the field. It's going to be 2-back set here for the Desperados. A handoff goes to Sansa Robinson, and there's nothing doing there.
Yeah, a loss of 1 on the run there. And if this defense of the Swarm, especially this front 4 led by the big man Joshua Williams, Big Swole himself, we could see Atlanta go up 30 here on this drive.
Another heavy set here, offset formation. It's going to be another handoff to the left side, and it's going to be a pickup of probably 2 yards. Atlanta making Tulsa fight for absolutely every inch. It's going to be third and long.
Yeah, and realistically, Atlanta, of course, going to make them fight for every inch, especially this deep in their own territory. Atlanta doesn't want Tulsa to go anywhere if they can help it.
4 wide receivers set. They're going to hand the ball off to Sansa Robinson, and the defense is ready for that. Pickup of only 1, and Tulsa will have to punt again. Last few drives for Tulsa, excluding this one. End of the half, punt, field goal, punt, interception. And Atlanta will have some good field position after this.
Yeah, Leo Jefferson with some great ball awareness after getting through the line has to come around behind Sansa Robinson in order to make the tackle. But it's going to result in some great field position as that punt fielded by Ryan Roosevelt is going to put Atlanta at the 34 of the Desperados.
Yeah, considering Atlanta punted from the 35, they've basically won a yard by making that punt and getting the ball back with a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 here for Atlanta, and man, the bottom side of the field has nobody covering that. That's territory for BDG Hollywood to make the catch. Gets about 5 yards. Good closing speed, though, by Nate Heslip making the tackle.
Yeah, Heslip not falling for the spin move there, is able to keep hold of BDG Hollywood And Atlanta again looks to threaten the end zone here.
Our set formation here. It's going to be a handoff to BDG Hollywood, not able to get past the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 2 yards. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6. 97 Sports Promotions at the SFL. The pass is going to be caught for a first down on a key 3rd and 7. That was an important play by the Tulsa defense, and they could not stop him.
Bryant Dynasty is so confident in the hands of his receivers. He just did a little hook shot into the hands of Jamal Wooding on that pass there. And Wooding keeps a hand on it, gets a first down for the Atlanta Swarm.
2 wide receivers, 2 backs in the backfield for Dynasty. Hollywood has the run, makes a spin move, another spin move. He keeps on breaking tackles, gets 9 on the play. And you know, if you're Tulsa, man, you have about 3 or 4 different defenders. That's just BDG doing BDG things.
Yeah, that's just BDG putting your entire defense in a spin cycle. There's not really a lot that you can do about that. It's as you said, just BDG doing BDG things.
3 wide receivers set here for the Swarm. They're going to hand the ball off near sideline. Spin move again by BDG Hollywood gets first down up to the 11-yard line as he gets the crowd riled up, and 1st and 10 again.
Poor Carson Miller. Oh, man, Carson Miller thought he had that tackle on lock, and BDG Hollywood just at the perfect time just turns on a dime. It's like, oh, heck no, not today, Carson.
Atlanta has gone with the slant routes from this formation. Let's see if they do it again. Yes, they do. Bryant Dynasty doesn't have time to throw this time, though. It's going to be an incomplete pass as Jaden Swift gets the pressure on the quarterback, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, big pressure from the big defensive tackle, Jaden Swift there. Unfortunately, with the position that Atlanta is in, it's only going to bring up 2nd down.
Shotgun formation for Bryant Dynasty here. 2 wide receivers. Dynasty escapes in the pocket. The pass is going to be caught and not getting a first down, but close to it is the tight end Wooding. 3rd and 1 is the ruling on the field. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation Football League got its start in 2013. SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archive people behind player segments, and all the major milestones in league history. Handoff goes to BDG Hollywood of the far sideline. Spin move, touchdown, Atlanta.
Yep, that is rushing touchdown number 2, total touchdown number 3 for BDG Hollywood, who yet again proves to be the absolute nucleus of this Atlanta Swarm offense. And Atlanta now looking to push this lead to 35.
Yep. Pending the extra point here by Sammy Steele. Perfect on the day on both extra points and field goals. The hold and snap is good. The kick is also good. And it's going to be 38-3 here to almost end the 3rd quarter. So coverage of the Simulation Football League's 17th season on Next Level Sports continues Saturday, October 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in prime time. NXT picks up the second half of Arizona-Mexico City, followed by the tussle in the Pacific between its top 2 teams, Los Angeles and Vancouver, at 9:50 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Bonus coverage includes Louisiana and St. Louis and Lone Star and Vegas. It all comes your way next Saturday on Next Level Sports. The return by Gabriel Manning doesn't go too far, just to the 23-yard line, and Tulsa will try again.
Yeah, Tulsa at this point needs multiple miracles, I think, to come back in this game. And I'm afraid at this point, Tulsa may start taking some risks that they probably shouldn't take, which may end up in an even bigger disaster for the Desperados.
That's going to be a handoff to Sansa Robinson, at least to start the drive. It's a pickup of 4 yards, as Robinson has been very, very quiet today. Only about 30 yards on the ground. And it's just not been easy out there by the Desperados to get some yards.
Yeah, it's definitely been a struggle for this Tulsa offense.
Offset formation, single back for the Desperados. A pass is going to be caught. A good throw to Jason France on a slant route. Pick him up a first down up to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, just some solid low-risk type of plays here for Tulsa. I do like what I'm seeing, but at this point in the game, if you're Tulsa, you need to up the tempo. I understand not wanting to take risks, but you gotta speed it up a bit more.
That you do, and that's going to be sort of a screen pass here to Jason France. It's about 4 yards on the play, but a good reaction by the Swarm defense to limit it to just 4.
Yeah, that definitely could have been a lot worse for Tulsa, though. A lot of pressure coming for JQ on that play. Jason France just happened to be in the right place at the right time in order to make something happen with it.
Shotgun formation here for the Desperados. Man-to-man coverage for the Swarm. Hard count here for JQ. He's going to throw. The pass over the middle of the field is caught. He's got his receiver wide open. That's Corey Jones for a first down.
Yeah, Corey Jones picking up just his second reception on the game. But a big catch at that, though, gets another first down for Tulsa as they're starting to drive here late in the third.
One wide receiver, that's Gabriel Manning, top of the screen. 4-3 defense. Make it a 4-4 defense, actually, for the Swarm. The pass is going to be caught by Robinson, making it a 5-yard pickup to the 47 of Atlanta side of the field.
Yeah, definitely a chance for more yardage there. Momentum on the wheel route, though, forces Sansa Robinson out of bounds after a 5-yard pickup. But importantly, I believe it does give Tulsa a chance to kind of reset things.
Similar formation this time here for the Desperados on a 2nd and 5. It's going to be another throw. The pass is going to go with McMichaels. He's got a catch for a pickup of 2 yards. A nice job by the linebacker making the open field tackle.
Yeah, and I think with that catch by McMichaels, we may see the end of the third here, though Tulsa may be able to get a snap off if they get to the line quick enough.
8 seconds left in this third quarter. Under center, JQ is going to snap this one. The pass is going to be caught by Robinson. Can he get there? He's going to be shy, but it's a penalty also on the play. Let's see what's the call. Yeah, maybe holding again. Let's see.
Holding, number 69, offense, penalty.
You called it. It's a holding again by the offensive line of the Desperados. Both offensive and defensive line have been pretty undisciplined from the Desperado side. We saw a couple of offside penalties by Demora and a couple of holding calls on the offensive line. It's just been pretty sloppy.
Yeah, that one on the tackle, Donald Ellis.
End of the third quarter, the Swarm lead the Desperados 38-3. Tulsa, though, has the offense and is moving. APM Music is on Rival Music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. As that's going to be a 4th down attempt, actually. The penalty was declined for the Atlanta Swarm, and the Desperados cannot get an inch.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think it was smart by the Swarm in order to force Tulsa to try and get something done on 4th down, and the defensive minds out in Atlanta with the wherewithal to be prepared for what Tulsa had and get to turnover on downs here on the outskirts of their own territory.
Under center, Brian Dynasty with 2 backs in the backfield is going to be BDG, and he's going to lose 4 yards on the play. Let's try it again. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection. State-of-the-art technology and world-class customer service, APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore the library and to find out the perfect tracks for your project, visit apmmusic.com. It's going to be shotgun here for the Swarm, 2 wide receivers. Dynasty to throw. The pass is going to be caught wide open as Jamal Wooding, who's going to be very close from a first down. They're going to rule him short.
Yeah, unfortunate spot there, I think, by R62 and this referee team. Definitely looked like Wooding had the ball past the first down marker, if only just, but being its 3rd and inches, honestly, this ball could either go into the hands of Hollywood, they could go into Brian's hands, they could surprise us and hand it off to the 3rd back in this power-up.
Most definitely. It's going to be 3rd and inches. It's going to go with BDG Hollywood, and he easily has a first down, making the man miss all the way to the 35-yard line. First down, Atlanta.
Yeah, BDG opts for a bit of a stutter step there to make the man miss instead of the spin move. And Atlanta now pretty solidly in Tulsa territory at their 35.
Brian Dynasty, 149.4 passer rating tonight. It's been flawless by the 3rd-year man. Handoff by BDG Hollywood is going to pick up a couple. 2nd down.
Yeah, the rookie inside linebacker, Miles Gibson, on the stop there. A great stroke toward the momentum for the Desperados that they desperately need, getting a stop like that on BDG Hollywood.
Splitbacks formation for the Swarm. Press man-to-man coverage showing here by the Desperados. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and Mitchell O'Brien gets some open space up to the 27 for a pickup of about 6.
Yeah, as a fullback myself, I love to see the fullback love Mitchell O'Brien getting a bit of a load here in lieu of BDG Hollywood, who has been putting in the absolute business on this Tulsa defense all game.
3rd down and 2 at the 27. Dynasty hands it off to BDG, and BDG trying to make space, and he gets the first down. What an individual play right there by BDG Hollywood.
Yeah, but you've got to credit the offensive line as well, holding their blocks long enough for BDG Hollywood to find the open space and get that first down.
It will go under center again. BDG Hollywood offset to the left. Dynasty to throw. BDG with a catch. BDG with space. Gets about 5 yards. And it's going to be brought down by a couple of corners as he's got 122 receiving yards on the game.
Yep, and just under 100 on the ground. BDG Hollywood, over 2 centuries of total offense.
And this may go to him again.
Yeah, which is nuts to think about, to be honest with you.
This goes to him again. BDG Hollywood has a first down to the 13-yard line, at 6 more to his count.
That's just wild. BDG Hollywood, again, the absolute powerhouse for the cell that is the Atlanta Swarm, has just been eating Tulsa's defense alive this game.
It really has. 8 men in the box, and BDG Hollywood runs right up the gut. It's a pickup of 1 on the play, making it a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, Atlanta looking to make an even bigger statement in this game than they already have going forward into the next 2 weeks, showing what their game plan is capable of when executed to near perfection, as it has been so far this game.
BDG Hollywood again with the catch. It's going to pick up only a couple this time. And what I'm really liking about this Atlanta offense, Aaron, is obviously PDG is the main focus of this offense. We know that, but when you look at it, Falco has a couple of catches for touchdowns. Butch Chisholm with 5 grabs. Roosevelt has 3 grabs. Jamal Wooding has 5 grabs. Even Mitchell O'Brien has been involved in the run game. It's a very complete offense. Has a pump fake here for Brian Dynasty going middle. It's caught again for a touchdown. That's Butch Chisholm. Atlanta puts 6 more on the board.
Yeah, Boo Chisholm gets catch number 6 on target number 6. Crosses the 60-yard mark in this game and gives Bryant Dynasty passing touchdown number 4 on the game. Atlanta with 6 total touchdowns and a field goal to their credit.
Yeah, and it's, Brian Dynasty making that pump fake. It freezes the safety, it freezes the linebacker, and he pump fakes right, goes middle where Butch Chisholm is running that in route, and it's just a great throw, great catch. Atlanta puts the extra point on the board. It's 45-3 as Atlanta again in the hunt for that first round playoff bye, and man, they're just clicking on all cylinders in this last stretch of the regular season.
Yeah, some good effort there by the special teams line of the Desperados, able to at least try and get a hand to the ball on that extra point. Unfortunately, Sammy Steele is too good to allow that pressure to get into his head.
Returning by Gabriel Manning goes to the 25, and that's something that Atlanta has done extremely well tonight, is not allowing Gabriel Manning to get loose behind this kick coverage team. They best return he's had was about the 30-something yard line, and not more than that. And that's exactly a point of emphasis, I'm pretty sure, by the special teams unit. As JQ will have a completion. Mike Michaels makes a spin move. 2 guys miss. 7 yards.
Yeah, not often you see the fullback make a spin move there, but McMichael's able to get that one off to perfection to make a couple men miss. Sets up a relatively short second down situation here for a Desperados team that is in desperate need of it.
4-3 defense shifting from left to right. Under center, Q will throw. The pass is going to be caught on a cross route. That's going to be Corey Jones with a first down.
Yeah, as you said, short cross route into the hands of Corey Jones, just enough to get the first down, which if you're Tulsa, it's the little victories at this point, being down by 42. And just trying to make some kind of offensive showing before the end of this game.
Hugh to throw. The pass is going to be caught by Sansa Robinson on the flat. It's going to be a pickup of 5 yards. Forced out of bounds by Craig Higgins. His 5th tackle of the day.
Yeah, and Sansa Robinson trying to get some more work done for this Desperado offense. Unfortunately, we're well past the point of no return, but still an impressive showing nonetheless on that play.
Changing the play of the line of scrimmage is JQ. Is going to dump it short to Robinson. Puts a man on the dirt. Another man on the dirt with that stiff arm. Gets a first down, and Tulsa's going to go no huddle here.
Yeah, and J-Rock, the rookie corner there, got absolutely rocked by the truck of Sansa Robinson.
You know where to run is going to get sacked by who else but Swole Williams. It was just a matter of time for number 99 to get in the backfield. Again with a no-huddle, 2nd and 13. JQ to throw. Nope. Sacked again. 3rd and 18. They're going backwards.
Yeah, Billy Ray Valentine on that sack there. That sack prior ties Josh Williams for 2nd on the season as far as total sacks go, with Chris Andrews of the Desperados. And Billy Ray Valentine picks up sack number 4, which puts him 2nd on the team, as Tulsa has a decision to make here on 4th and 12.
Yeah, the last play was only a 5-yard pickup with Gabriel Manning, and when you throw it short like that, it's because you're going for it on 4th down. You're just trying to make this 4th down just a little bit easier if that's possible. 4th and 12. Q, deep drop back, has time. It's going to be underneath, and the tackle is going to be made before the 1st down marker. Atlanta will turn the ball, well, Tulsa will turn the ball over on downs, and Atlanta will have the offense again.
Yeah, and Atlanta with that stop there by number 54, Peyton Chisholm, the backup inside linebacker. It gives them really good field position at their own 41 here with plenty of time to try and hit the over.
Yes, indeed. And this is going to be actually now the backup, I'm pretty sure. Is that still Brian Dynasty? No, that's the backup, actually, as it's going to be a short throw for 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, that is the backups in, as you saw. Rod Harris with the pass there to Riley Freeman.
BDG Hollywood on the sideline looking at his backup running back, also putting in some work. Rod Harris, as you said, under center, heavy set. There's going to be a handoff to Mitchell O'Brien, who's going to break a tackle and get a 1st down. So BDG Hollywood leaves the field, and basically Mitchell O'Brien becomes the feature back and becomes the experienced man in the backfield.
Yeah, and Mitchell O'Brien still filling his role with the Swarm offense despite the backups being in. Just a great short yardage down to get these really quick 1st downs, as Atlanta's going to continue to run the ball, try and run as much of this clock down as possible.
Same formation, it's a heavy set for Harris.
Another fullback dive.
Actually, that goes to the backup Freeman, and Freeman, just a little bit of a starter step, trying to find a hole, and he finds 4 yards on the play. Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17th season on 4 Defense continues tomorrow, September 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will have top 10 plays from Season 17's 3rd quarter, the updated playoff standings, league leaders through 9 weeks, and a mega matchup between the Vancouver Legion and St. Louis Gladiators with bonus coverage of Charleston and Queen City. It all comes your way tomorrow on For the Fans. Same formation, heavy set. 8 players on the box here for Tulsa trying to stop that run. Handoff, O'Brien pushes forward, pickup of 1.
Yeah, a good push by O'Brien there to get that 1 yard. Unfortunately, after this game, I have a red-eye flight out to Vancouver for that Vancouver-St. Louis game tomorrow.
It's going to be the 2-minute warning here from Tulsa. Atlanta dominating this game 45-3. They will move on to 7-3 in the season. And they're just trying to kill the clock. On a 3rd and 5, it's going to be an offset formation. This may be that one throw that has killed the Desperados. Let's see if Freeman can do something. Actually, Harris will go middle of the field, and guess what? Rod Harris has a 1st down to Ryan Roosevelt.
Yeah, just a really impressive pass with pressure coming from Chris Andrews. And despite a bit of an awkward motion, is able to get that into the hands of Ryan Roosevelt. And Atlanta, despite the backups being in, finds themselves just on the outskirts of the Tulsa red zone.
It was a sidearm throw by Rod Harris, showing that he also has some skill. It's going to be a heavy set again. Handoff, Mitchell O'Brien. Put on the ground after just getting back to the line of scrimmage. Tulsa calls a timeout.
Yeah, stop there by Carson Miller, one of a handful of Tulsa defenders that have been kind of all over the place for the Desperado defense. Is able to stop Mitchell O'Brien from getting anything on that run.
Same exact power formation. 3 people in the backfield. Harris will hand it off to Freeman. Freeman to the left side. He's got a couple yards on the play as Tulsa will call their last timeout. And the question right now, Aaron, who's your player of the game? Is it Dynasty or is it Hollywood? I think it's between those two guys, but it's so close. Brian Dynasty, 31 of 34. 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no picks. BDG Hollywood, more than 100 yards receiving, about 100 yards rushing, and touchdowns.
Man, it's so close to call. I think it should be BDG Hollywood. If he doesn't get player of the game nod here, we may see him get player of the week honors this week after a performance like that. But Atlanta played absolute perfect football today, so if either of them gets player of the game, it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, I think that actually what they're going to do is that they're going to grab the same coin for the coin toss. If it's heads, Dynasty gets the player of the game. If it's tails, they'll give it to BDG Hollywood. It's that close. And either option is not a bad one, as Sammy Steele is going to try to put 3 more points on the board, and he does, make it a 48-3. And the underbetters actually still sign a sigh of relief, because still 51 points out of the 54.5.
Yeah, unfortunate for anyone who bet the over. Atlanta, unfortunately, not able to make it to the end zone with the backups in, but is still able to pick up a field goal by the boot of Sammy Steele. And Tulsa's just going to try and get anything on the board. Just it's honestly just for motivation at this point going into next week for the Desperados.
I agree, as Gabriel Manning is going to return this one to the 25-yard line. And, it happens sometimes in this, garbage time, is what we call is just Atlanta having the backup defense on the field. Tulsa, obviously, with guys like Manning, Hume, and those guys getting a cheap touchdown. So, not over yet for the over, if you will, as they're going to go under center with 4 receivers. This time, JQ will take the handoff, and this is going to be a very weird play as Sonsa Robinson loses yardage.
He's lucky
that was weird.
He's lucky to only lose a yard there, to be honest. That was... I think that play was just blown up.
Yeah, certainly pretty strange as Robinson gets a few yards and goes out of bounds. It almost looked like one of those trick plays, Aaron, where you throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage like that in order to have like a halfback pass.
Yeah.
But there was just no halfback pass after that. Just not completely in tune. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, fitting for the college football inspired uniforms. They try a college football style play. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them there.
That was just trying a deep post route as Papineau makes the deflection. This is really, if I remember correctly, only like the second time they've tried to go deep after that interception in the first quarter. They just, JQ got gun shy and just didn't try to get anything deep, as that was almost intercepted.
Yeah, I think that that interception early on proved to be Tulsa's undoing. JQ just not really able to find a rhythm, playing perhaps a bit too reserved. And, of course, Tulsa at this point have to go for it on this 4th and long.
4 wide receivers on the field for the Desperados. Dime defense for the Swarm. Q to throw. Passes. The pass is intercepted. The pass is intercepted and it's been returned. Past the 15, past the 10 to the 9-yard line. As the backup defense even is just making great plays.
Yeah, that one intercepted by Dwayne Riley, the backup strong safety in for Chris Henry. In a way, I kind of thought he was going to take it to the house, and it would have been the over taking the bet here. Still an opportunity for it, though, as Atlanta finds themselves less than 10 yards from the end zone.
I think they're going to take knees here. Yes, they are. So the underbetters are very, very lucky, apparently. Tulsa has no timeouts, so this is going to take us to the end of the game as Brian Dynasty puts a knee in the dirt, it's going to be second and goal. It just has to take one more. For Tulsa, a rough game, Aaron. They will go to 2-8. They will be officially eliminated from the playoffs.
Yep.
I like the pieces that they have. JQ, young quarterback, I like him. Gabriel Manning, we know how dangerous he can be. Corey Jones, DJ Hume, veteran receivers. Jason Francis, a tight end, good player. Sonso Robinson has been in the league for a while. And this defense has some young players in the secondary, but I think they will get better, especially at the safety position with Reside and Daniel Wright. I think this is a team that could do pretty good things next year, but they will have to have a strong offseason.
Yeah, and I think for the Desperados, they need to find a sense of identity when it comes to their offense, right?
Yeah.
It's they have really good pieces. It just seems like the coaching staff at Tulsa is not really able or hasn't found the best way to utilize those pieces as we go into the post-game show here. And that just says it all right there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's in a microcosm what happened in this game. Total yards 469 for Atlanta, 186 for the Tulsa offense. And going back to the Tulsa, offense, as you're saying, you're right. This looks like an unsolved puzzle, but I think that in the off season, the coaches can just come together and find out who they are. This is a team that can be pretty dangerous next season. They do have individually some of the best players in the league. Chris Andrews is a sack machine. I really like Nate Haslep as a corner. Again, as I said, Gabriel Manning is the best kickoff and punt returner at man in the SFL, and it's been for the last 10 or so seasons. So the talent is there, just need to put it together.
Yeah.
So, time for the truth, Aaron. Who's your player of the game?
I think it's got to be BDG Hollywood. Combined between the receiving game and the rushing game, he put up as many, if not more, yards than the entire Desperado offense combined. He had 3 total touchdowns in the day. It's got to be Hollywood.
Player of the game is going to be BDG Hollywood. 20 attempts on the ground, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, receiving 129, and another touchdown through the air as the Atlanta Swarm defeat the Tulsa Desperados 48-3. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody, in tonight's broadcast. I am Ramos Lin for Aaron Alexander, Justin Reside, and Cameron Irvine pushing the buttons. Thank you very much from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We'll see you next time.